Hello dear viewers, welcome back to another video. So as I said before, I'm back with another overview video, which is the overview of purchase module. So as you all know, purchase is as much important as sales, right? So only if you buy something, you can sell it. So in Odoo 17, we have a very broad purchase module inside which we have so much things which can help you to manage your purchases very easily. So here you have the product management, the product variance management, as well as you have the option to create the RFQs, and you will see how to confirm an RFQ and how it turns out to be a purchase order. You have different purchase agreements and so much more. So I'm not wasting your time. Let's move into the module and see what else are there inside the purchase module. So let's begin. First of all, we are going to open the purchase module. You can either search it from the search bar over here. So I've searched and here comes the purchase module. So once you open the purchase module, you get such an interface where you get the list view of the RFQs which are pre-created in your system. Okay, so here you have so much RFQs, and you will be seeing that in a list view, as well as you can see all RFQs and your RFQs details. That is the count which are to be sent, the waiting ones, and also the ones which are late. Okay, and then you have certain things like the average order value, the lead time to purchases, and the purchased last 7 days count, as well as the RFQ sent last 7 days count. All such things can be seen. And other than that, you have the purchase reference, the vendor, the company, buyer, order deadline, activities, source document, total, as well as the status. That is whether it's an RFQ or it is a purchase order, whatever it is. Okay, and as you can see at the top right corner of the screen, different views are also provided by Odoo 17. So currently you are seeing the list view. Here you have the Kanban view of the same, so which is a card-like view, as you all know. So here you have the option to star it, which is to set a priority for the RFQ. Okay, so whether if it's an urgent RFQ means you can simply star it. Okay, and you have the name of the person, that is the vendor name, the amount, whether it's a purchase order or an RFQ, that can be seen here. You have the purchase reference as well as the date. Okay, so those are the details that you can find inside a single card. And then you have the same in pivot view, which is a tabular view. So here you have the different vendors, the count and the total. If you want to add measures, here you have measures. From there you can simply add it by bill count. If you want to add bill count, if you want to add currency rates, you can choose that one as well. So as you add measures, the table becomes bigger and bigger. Okay, that's how you add it. And then you have the option to insert this into spreadsheet. So what to do to insert it into a spreadsheet? You have a simple icon over there, that is a button over there. Click on that and you can add it to the spreadsheet. So it can either be an existing spreadsheet or a blank spreadsheet, whatever it is. So you can choose it according to your wish. Okay, so from here you can choose it and simply confirming it. I'm choosing blank one, and here you can see a message which shows new spreadsheet created in documents. So it's created, and here's the table. That table has come inside the spreadsheet. So that's how you insert it into a spreadsheet. Now let's go back. And you have the option to flip axis over here. Okay, that is if you want to flip axis, that can be done from here. You have the total down and the vendors on top. Okay, and you have the option to expand all. Okay, if it's not expanded and all means you can expand it simply, and also you can download the Excel 6 file. Okay, next you have the graph view. Okay, so inside the graph view, you have 3 kinds of graphs, which is the bar chart, line chart, and the pie chart. So in case of bar chart, if you take bar chart means you will be having this stacked view. Okay, and also you have the option to view it in ascending and descending order. Okay, and in case of line chart, you can see it in a stacked view as well as the cumulative view. Okay, so that's it. And here you have the pie chart. Now here in the graph view also, you have these measures. So here's the measures, and you can simply add measures, but here the exception, like if you compare it with the pivot table, the exceptional case is that here at a time you can only add one measure. Okay, a single measure can be added at once. So as you can see, different colors refer to different vendors. And if I add measure over here, like before adding a measure, I'll just put the cursor on top of different colors and show. Now currently it is showing the total. Okay, so if you just change it to taxes, see I'm choosing taxes, you can see taxes is shown. So that's what I said, at a time only you can show a single measure in case of graph. Okay, and that's the graph view. Then you have the calendar view of the RFQs. So as you all know, this request for quotation can simply be denoted as RFQ. Okay. So this is the calendar view where you can see the different RFQs which are created on particular dates. Okay. So you can view it based on a day, week, month or year. Okay, and you have the option to view today's RFQs, and you also have the option to view the previous one as well as the next one. So currently it have chosen week. So if you're choosing previous means previous week's data will be shown. Okay, so if you're choosing month means previous months will be shown. Okay, so that's how the calendar view works. And then you have the activities. Okay, so one more thing is there in this calendar. You can see the different colors, what these different colors denote to. So different vendors are denoted in different colors. Okay. Now after that you have the activities. So these are the activities which have been scheduled corresponding to the RFQ. So you have 3 different colors. So I hope you all know what it means. It's simply the, yellow color represents to the ones which are to be done today, that is the activities which are scheduled for today, and the green ones represents to the activities that are scheduled for future, and the red ones refer to the ones which is already finished or the ones which are expired. Okay, so that's the different colors. And if you want to schedule an activity, it's possible simply by clicking on the cell to which you want to schedule the activity. So for this purchase order or RFQ, I'm going to schedule a call. So what you have to do is click on this cell over here, and then comes a wizard. So there by default the activity type will be call because I've clicked on the cell called call. Okay, so from there also you can simply change the activity type. So currently we don't need to do that. Here you will be having the due date, the assigned to, as well as the summary. Now you can simply save it. Okay, so that activity has been scheduled. So that's how you do the activity scheduling and all. So now let's go back to the list view and let me show you how to create an RFQ. Okay, so before that, if you just take a look at the orders menu, there you have the request for quotation, the purchase order, blanket order and vendor. So currently we are in request for quotations. Okay, so let's create a new RFQ. So for that, click on the new icon, that is the new button over there, and here comes the RFQ creation. So the first thing which you have to do is you have to specify a vendor. Okay, so I'm adding a vendor from here. Let it be Anita. Okay, so Anita Oliver is the vendor. Now here you have the vendor reference. So I'll just show you what it is. It's the reference of the sale order or bid sent by the vendors. It's used to do the matching when you receive the products, as this reference is usually written on the delivery order sent by a vendor. It's basically for easy identification. Okay, you will be giving a reference and it will be written on the delivery order. Okay, so here you have blanket order. So currently I'm not talking more about blanket order. I'll say that we have a specific menu called blanket order, and we'll be doing a detailed video of blanket order itself. You can check our channel for the video. So that's the blanket order. Then you have the order deadline and you have the expected arrival date. Okay, expected arrival date can be given, and here you have this ask confirmation. So suppose you are ordering a product and the person is telling a date. Okay, so 15 days or 10 days before the delivery date, you can simply ask confirmation to that person whether that product will be delivered on that date. Okay, so that's what expected arrival and this ask confirmation is. So you can set the expected arrival date, and if you want to ask confirmation, simply check it and you can specify how much days before this confirmation should be done. So that's the expected arrival as well as the ask confirmation. And then you have to add a product. It's similar to the quotation creation in the sales module. So here I'm adding a product. Let it be customizable desk. Okay, and then you have the quantity over here. You can set a quantity, whatever quantity you want, you can set it from here. So that's how you add a product. And then you have the other information where you have the buyer details. Okay, so buyer is Michelle Edmond. You can change it from here. And then you have the company. So you are buying products for your company from a particular vendor. That's the scenario. Okay, so that's the buyer details. You have the company. So this and all is taken as the person who is logged in. That is the data of the logged in person is taken as the buyer details. Okay, then you have the source document, the Incoterm, locational. So you all know what Incoterm is. Incoterm is simply international commercial terms which is introduced by the Chamber of Commerce, which is basically used in terms of businesses. Okay, so each Incoterm will be having different meanings. Okay, so you all should be aware of what an Incoterm is. Okay, So then here you have the payment terms. That is how, when should you do the payment? So you have different options like immediate payment, 15 days, 21 days, 30 days or 45 days. So within 45 days or after 45 days, you can do the payment. Okay. So whatever it is, you can choose it from here. So I'm not choosing anything. And here you have the fiscal position. Sorry, let's go back. Yeah, here you have the fiscal position. So that's the other information. And here you have the alternatives tab. So this tab was introduced by Odoo 16, okay? So as I said before in the introduction, as I said, you will be having this purchase agreements, okay? So purchase agreements are of two types, which is call for tender and blanket order, okay? So you all saw what blanket orders I'll be talking about in detail. Now this, the call for tender one, it is currently done using an alternative tab. Okay, so I'll show that for you guys. Now in this alternative tab, what you're doing is for the same product, okay, you are, if you want a product called something like a pen or pencil or something, a bunch of pencils and all. So what you're doing is you are buying or you're giving a creation, that is the RFQs created for the same product to different vendors. Okay, suppose let's take 3 vendors. There are 1, 2, 3 vendors. Okay, so to this vendor number 1, I'm sending the RFQ for the same product. For vendor number 2 as well as vendor number 3, I'm sending the RFQ. So you will be choosing the best one. So if for the same product with these 3 vendors, the price will be different. You will be choosing a better price. Okay, obviously we'll be choosing a lower price for the same product, right? So once that is chosen, the other orders, that is the other RFQs, will be cancelled. So that's the concept of this call for tender. We'll see that, okay? So that's where this alternative tab came from, and the call for tender things and all will be done from this alternative tabs. So you can see create a call for tender by adding alternative request for quotation to different vendors, and you can make your choice by selecting the best combination of lead time, OTD and or total amount. Okay, by comparing product lines, you can also decide to order some products from one vendor and others from another vendor. Okay, you can do that based on it. So if you want to create an alternative, you can simply create alternative from here. So I'm going to click on create alternative. So what you're going to do is RFQ within an RFQ. Okay, so I'll choose a vendor from here. It should be a different vendor. So I'm choosing Audrey Peterson and copying the product, create alternative. Okay, so you can see another RFQ is created with the same product. Now here in the alternative tab, you can see Anita Oliver was the first one, Audrey Peterson was the second one, and if you want to create one more, you can simply click on create alternative. And I'm ordering the same product from Azure Interior, copying the products, create alternative. Okay, so alternative is created. That is one RFQ. Within that one, we create another one, and within that one, another one. So total 3 RFQs are there. So if you go to the alternative tab of the third RFQ, you will find all the 3, and you can see the total as well. So let's go back and specify the total. So the unit price I'm putting is 50 for this one. Going back to the other one. So the first one I'm opening, and here I'm giving the unit price as 25. Okay, now let's go to the alternative tab. Next, choose the third one. And for the third one also, I'm setting the unit price as 60. Saving it. Okay, now let's go to the first one, which is the RFQ which we created, which is P0016. Okay, so here in the alternative tab of the first one, you can see all the 3, and this is shown in a bit darker thing because that is the RFQ which we are currently in. Okay, we are viewing to the other 2 through the first RFQ. Now, if you want to compare the product lines, you can simply click on the compare product lines option over here, and then you can see the comparison, and you can just take a look at the prices, and you can see this 25 was shown as the lesser one because compared to the other 2, that's the lesser one. So yeah, there's a mistake here in the Audrey Peterson one. We didn't specify a rate. So I'll specify that one also, and then I'll show you. Okay, so click on Audrey's one, and here you have the unit price. I'm choosing it as 80. Save it, and let's go back to the RFQ. Sorry, so this is the Anita Oliver's one, is the one which we created. Now you can see 3 RFQs with different rate. The product is same, but the rate of the same product from 3 different vendors is different. Okay, so for one we have 28, one we have 80, and for other one we have 60. So obviously we'll be choosing the 28 one because it's lesser in total, right? So let's compare the product lines. I'm comparing the product lines from here. And if you just take a look at the unit price, 25 is shown in green color. Why? Because that would be a better option. And if you want to choose it, you have the option to choose it from here. So I'm clicking on choose. And what happened to the others? Let's see. Okay. So going back to this one, the main thing, and here you can see. Okay, let's go back once again. Compare the product lines. So we are going to choose this. So for the other two ones, the choose and clear option has been gone. Okay. So if you choose this, there's nothing to clear. I'm just going back to the purchase order. From here, let's confirm the order. So what you can see is that you have the option to either keep the alternatives as well as cancel the alternatives. That is the speciality of call for tender. If you're creating 3 RFQs and if you're confirming one, means you will either have to keep the other 2 alternatives, or simply that other 2 will become cancelled. So I'm going to cancel the alternatives. At a time you can only buy from a single vendor. Okay, so that's cancelled. Now you can see one has become a purchase order and the other 2 is cancelled. So that's simply how you perform the call for tender, that is the purchase agreement, which is call for tender, which is by using the alternatives tab. Okay, so that's done, and that's basically how you create an RFQ. And once the RFQ is confirmed to a purchase order, you have to receive the products. Okay, so the product receiving is done, then you have to validate the bill. Okay, in case of RFQ, that is the purchase module, you won't be having an invoice. Instead, you will be having a bill. Okay, so that's done, and then you can go back. So here the create bill button is active now. You can create a bill for this. So I'm creating a bill. So the bill is currently in draft state. I'm going to confirm it and let it be posted. Okay, you have to specify the bill date. Don't forget to specify the bill date. So if you don't put this bill date, means you can't post or confirm this bill. So I'm specifying the bill date over here, confirming it. So that's confirmed, and then you can complete it by doing the payment now. So here is the register payment. You have the journal, the payment method, the amount, the payment date, the memo, and also the recipient bank account. So I'm creating the payment from here. That's done, and you can see the ribbon has come which shows in payment state. Okay, so that's done, and that's how you create a purchase order through an RFQ. Now from here, that is the purchase orders menu, which is in the orders, you can create a purchase order. So it will be only showing the orders. Okay, the confirmed RFQs will only be listed under the purchase order. So here let's create one simply without talking about the purchase agreements. So here I'm choosing Audrey Peterson, adding a product. So let the product be stool. And then you have the option to specify the quantity 5 and the unit price I'm giving it as 10. Okay, so you have the order deadline, the expected arrival, and if you want to ask for confirmation, simply check this and specify the date. So 1 day before the expected arrival, you are going to ask for confirmation to the vendor. Okay, so that's it, and you are going to confirm the order. So if you are doing send by mail, means this will directly go to RFQ sent state. Okay, then put it to purchase order, receiving the product, validate it. So you have to make sure. Okay, there is some clashes with the lot and serial number. So what you have to do is here you have the option to specify lot number. Okay. So I'm putting lot 1, lot 2. We have 5 quantity of the product, right? Lot 3, lot 4 and lot 5. So that's done. So that's the serial numbers. Okay, we'll be mentioning serial numbers for different products, right? So 5 quantity of the product has been ordered. So I'm saving it. Okay. Now let's see, validate it. Okay. I think it's not applied. Generate serial number, I'm clicking. So I've generated serial number for this. And let's save it. So that's done. And let's validate it. So if such scenarios come, what you have to do is simply specify a serial number for the quantity of the products that you have ordered, okay? Or you have the option to generate serial number inside Odoo 17, okay? So that's done. It's in done state right now. If you go back to the purchase order, there you will have this create bill button, which is active. Click on that and confirm it. So you have to make sure, yeah, once again, we got the same problem, which is bill date. So like me, don't forget to specify the bill date, otherwise you can't confirm it. So I'm confirming it, and yeah, that's done. So that's the simplest way how you create an RFQ, how an RFQ change to a purchase order, and how you register the payment. So that's how you simply create a purchase order. So purchase order is generated. Now if you go under orders, you will be having this thing called blanket order. So before going on to the blanket order, one thing which you have to make sure is go to this configuration settings. And from there, you have to make sure this purchase agreements is enabled. So here you have this purchase agreement. So you have to make sure that is enabled. Only then you can perform this call for tenders as well as the blanket order. So this blanket order, here you have a one which is already created. So if you want, you can create a new blanket order from here. So you have to specify the purchase representative. Let it be Michelle admin. Agreement type is blanket order. So from here, you can specify the blanket order. If you go to the internal link of blanket order, so before that I have to specify a vendor. So let it be Abigail Peterson. And now let's go to the internal link of the blanket order. So this is the agreement type. You might have seen this in Odoo 15 while we are creating an agreement type, which is blanket order as well as the call for tender. Now here you have the agreement selection type where you have two things, which is two radio buttons, which shows select only one RFQ, which is exclusive, and you have select multiple RFQ, which is non-exclusive. So in case of a blanket order, what happens is that you can select multiple RFQs. In case of call for tender, what happens is you can only select one RFQ, and once one is selected, the other two will become cancelled. You have seen that. And then here you have data for new quotations. So you can either use line of the agreement, which we are going to create, or even you can, you do not create RFQ lines automatically. That option can also be selected. But we are using use lines of agreement. And then you have the quantities, which is use quantity of agreement or even set quantities manually. So I'm putting as set quantities manually. Okay. So that's done. Now let's go back to the blanket order which we created. You have the agreement deadline over here, the ordering date, the delivery date now. So I'm going to add a product for this. So let the product be customizable desk. Okay. And the unit price, I'm setting it as 10. Saving it. So quantity, I'm setting it to a 10 quantity. Saving it. And then what you have to do is confirm it. So that has become a blanket order. That's a blanket order which we created. And inside this blanket order, through this blanket order, you can create a new quotation. Here you can see an active button which says new quotation. So I'm clicking on that. New quotation. And then here you have the vendor name has automatically come, the product line is automatically populated, everything is done. You can simply specify the quantity which you want. So I'm putting 5 quantity, confirming the order. Okay, so that's done. You can receive the products, okay, and simply validate it. So that's how you do it. Like before that, if you want to add one more quotation, means you can do that one as well. So creating another quotation with the same product, and the quantity I'm giving is 2. Confirm it. Okay. You can confirm it. So there will be a purchase order, another purchase order. Okay. So you can confirm all the quotations which we create inside the blanket order. The thing is, same product, different quantity, same vendor, or different products, different quantity, same vendor. The vendor will be constant over here. In case of call for tender, it will be same product, same quantity, different vendor. So that's the difference between the purchase agreements. Okay. Now once you are done, you can complete the procedure as you do in a purchase order. So simply receive the product, validate it, and that's done. Okay. So if you just take the blanket order, here you can see the Abigail Peterson one I'm choosing. You can see how much RFQs which were generated through this blanket order. If you open that, you can see both are become purchase order. Okay. So that's how you perform the blanket order. Okay, and next we have the option which is vendors. So open vendors. Here you will be seeing the different vendors which are there in your system. So if you want to create a new vendor, that's possible. Click on new, specify the name. So it's similar to the customer creation in the sales module, sorry. So I'm putting the name as John. Okay, so he can either be an individual or a company. So I'm putting an individual. So if you're choosing individual, means you have to choose the company to which he belongs to. So I'm putting him under Gemini Furniture. And then you have the contact and all. So these contact details and other details and all will be fetched from the parent company. Okay, so here you have the job position, the phone, the mobile, email, everything can be specified over here. Then you have the tags over here, the title, that is how you have to address the person. Okay, so you can choose it from here. And then you have the contact and addresses where you can add contact to the vendor. So at a time you can add multiple contacts, which is by simply clicking on the add icon over here. So click on add, you have contact, the invoice addresses, the delivery address, the follow-up address and other addresses. So if you're simply adding an address over here, so I'm putting new, save and new. That's the other address. If you want to add a delivery address, click on that, click on the name. I'm putting delivery, save and close. So that's how you add multiple address to the person. Then you have the sales and purchase tab where you have details regarding sales as well as purchase. So for the sales, you have salesperson, the payment terms and the price list, which is of the parent company, the delivery method. And also you have the purchase where you have the buyer, the payment terms, the payment method and also the receipt reminder. So receipt reminder, which is automatically send a confirmation email to the vendor. That is X days. Wow, how much days you specify, that's the count of the days before the expected receipt date, asking him to confirm the exact date. Then you have the fiscal information, the point of sale as well as the miscellaneous section. And then you have the accounting section. So that is all of the parent company. Then if you have any internal notes that can be given here as well as the partner assignment where you have the geolocation. So that's how you basically create a vendor. And then you have the meetings, the opportunities, the sales, subscription, and under more you have purchases, on-time rate, invoiced, vendor bills, partner ledger, document, and also even you can go to the website. So all these counts increases as you use this person inside different purchase orders. Okay, so that's how you manage a vendor and that's how you create a vendor. So next we have this products menu, under which you have products and products variants as sub menu. So first let's manage products inside Odoo. So here you have products, as you can see, like not only in the purchase module, inside this sales module as well as the inventory module, we have the same products. Okay, so once we were talking about the sales module, I've gone through these products, but still we'll go through it once more. So these are the products. Products can be viewed in two types, which is the Kanban view as well as the list view. Okay, so also you have this activity, that is you have the option to schedule an activity corresponding to a product. Okay, so here you can see a card-like view of the product where you have the photo of the product and then you have the name. If any code is specified to the product, means that code will be there. You will get the price of the product and also the on-hand quantity. And here you have the star, which is to set like you can mark it as favorite. And once you mark it as favorite, what happens is that while you are going to create an RFQ or even a sales quotation, this product will be suggested first. Okay, so you no need to search it. So let me create a new product. Here you have new and I'm going to create a product. So let the name of the product be chair. Okay, so chair is the product. So you can see two things are already checked, which is can be sold and can be purchased. Okay, so it can also be expensed, recurred and also rented. So once you mark it, it becomes an like if you're marking can be expensed, means it becomes an expense product. Then if you're marking recurring, means it will become a subscription product. And if you're marking can be rented, means it will become a rental product. Okay, so by default can be sold and can be purchased will be marked. So yeah, this product can be we can sell this product as well as buy this product. Okay, so under the general information you have the product type. So you have these much types. We've talked about it in the product creation. You can refer to our video. So you have this consumable, service, storable, booking fees, then you have combo, even event ticket. Okay, so let it be a storable product. These all product types can be used in different scenarios. Okay, so consumable and storable can be considered as a basic thing, and then services and all. Service can be anything like a teaching. Even a doctor is a service, right? So those things, if you are creating a doctor's detail as a service product, means that can be used. Okay, and then you have this booking fees and all. So if you set a booking fees as a product, means in case of where you have to use this booking fees, you can use this product. Similarly, you have this combo as well as event ticket. So you can use it accordingly. So I'm putting storable product, and you have invoicing policy, which is ordered quantity as well as delivered quantity. So ordered quantity stands for creating an invoice for the products which have been ordered, and delivered quantity is that creating invoice for the quantity which is delivered. So I'm setting it as ordered quantity itself. Then you have unit of measure. So in which unit of measure you need to purchase it, and in which unit of measure you need to sell it. So if you want to change it, so if you get a scenario where you want to sell a product in one unit and buy it in a different unit, so you have to set it over here. You have this purchase unit of measure. So basic unit of measure, you can set it as unit, and for the purchase unit of measure, if you want, you can change it from here. Okay, whatever it is, you can buy it in that particular unit of measure which you have set it. Okay, then you have the sales price of the product. So sales price can be set it from here. So sales price is simply the price at which the product is sold. Okay, and then you have the customer taxes. So the taxes can be set from here, and then you have the other tax category as well as the cost. So cost can be set it over here. So the value of the product, which is the the one you specify there, that is used to value the product when the purchase cost is not known. So this is used to compute margins on sale order. So you know what margin is, which we can find under sale order. So this cost can be used to manage the or calculate the margins in sale orders. Then you have the product category, that is you can choose under which category this should belongs to. You have different categories, okay? You can choose whatever it is. And then you have the internal reference. So if you have any reference for easy identification of the product, you can mention it over here. And then you can set a barcode and even product template tags. So tags can be configured from here. Then you can specify the internal notes. Here you have the attributes and variants, where you can specify a particular attribute and variant for the product. So chair means you can put different things like the color. So let color be an attribute, and the values you're specifying as dark blue, gray, and green. So currently you're having 3 different attributes. Okay, so these can be like you have created a product and you have 3 attributes, which means these are 3 products. Okay, you have a dark blue chair, a gray chair, as well as a green chair. So these will be listed individually inside the product variants. So once we go into product variants, I'll show you that. Okay, so that's it. And if you want to configure it, that is for any particular variant, sorry, I have to save it first. Yeah, for any particular variant, that is for any particular attribute value, if you need to set a different rate or extra price, what you have to do is go to the configure button next to the variants, and there you have the option to specify the value extra price. That is the value price extra. If you are asked to, give extra money to any particular variant, you can do that from here. Okay, so that's it, and let's go back to our product. Here you have the sales variant selection. So all these things we can see inside a sales module also. Okay, product creation is same everywhere. So you have the variant selection, which is product configurator as well as order grid entry. So the thing is that these variants can be selected in 2 different methods. So those are the methods. So we have a demo of each and everything in our channel. You can simply check on it. And then you have the sales tab, where you have the upsell and cross-sell, the product description for self-order. So any product description and all, you can add it. You have the e-commerce shop details, which is the website in which this product is available. The categories, whether it's out of stock, show availability, quantity, out of stock message, everything can be set over here. And if you want to make it available in POS, you can simply check the checkbox over here. And here under the upsell and cross-sell, you have the optional products, the accessory products, and the alternative products of the product chair. Here you have the purchase tab, where you can add a vendor for this particular product. So while you replenish, the replenishment order will be on to this particular vendor. And here you have the inventory tab. So under the inventory tab, you have the operations, the logistics, the traceability, and also description for recipients. For receipts as well as the delivery orders. So tracking can be done for the product, which can be done using the serial number, by lots, and even no tracking is possible. Okay, so here you have the different routes for the operations, and then you have the logistics over here. And finally, you have the accounting tab for each product, where you have this receivables, which is the income account. And then you have the payables, where you have the expense account, the price difference account, and so on. So that's all about the product creation. Okay, now if you just take a look at the top of the screen, there you will find different smart tabs, okay? So where it shows extra prices, documents, go to website, variants and all. So under variants, you can see 3. It's because we have created or provided 3 different variants for the product share. So it will show the count, and here you have more, which is having the on-hand quantity, the forecasted unit, the in and out, the reordering rules, bill of materials, purchased units, and sold units. So once you start using this product in different operations, then there'll be a change in the counts which are given here. So that's how you create a product. So that's all what you need to know about products in this purchase module. Now here, if you just take a look at the product variants, there also what you're doing is basically a product creation. But there you won't find this attribute and variant tab over here. All other things are same. And one more difference which you can find over here is that if you just search for chair, see, 3 chairs are there. So as I said before, all those 3 variants will be shown as 3 different products inside product variants. So that's it. Next, you have the reporting section, where you have the purchase analysis. So it's the only thing which is there under the reporting. So here in the purchase analysis, you can find the graphical view as well as the pivot table. So pivot table, you all know, right? It's a tabular form. You can add multiple measures at a time. See, multiple measures can be added. This can also be inserted into spreadsheet. You can flip the axis, expand all, and also download the XLSX file. Okay, so I'll show you how to insert it into a spreadsheet. You can choose any one. So I'll show inserting it to an existing one, choosing one and confirming it. Okay, so here is it. So this is how you insert it into an existing spreadsheet. Now go back to purchase analysis, and yeah, let's go to the graph view of the same. So this is the graph view. Now basically there are 3 types of graphs. I think you might know what all those 3 types are, which is the bar chart, line chart, and pie chart. So 3 graphs are provided by Odoo, and where in the line chart you have the stacked as well as the cumulative view. Plus you can also see it in ascending as well as descending order. And also in case of bar chart, you will be getting only the stacked view, not cumulative view. And also you can, find it in ascending as well as descending order. Okay. So this is it, and here at a time you can only use one measure, and whatever measure it is you can change it from here. So currently we are viewing the untaxed total based on the confirmation date. Okay, so that's the purchase analysis. Next you have the configuration, where you have the vendor price list. So that is basically configuring a price list based on a particular vendor. So we'll open one which is already created. So here you can see wood corner is chosen as a vendor, and if you want to add any product, means you can add a product over here, which is vendor product name. So this vendor's product name will be used when printing a request for quotation. So keep empty to use the internal one. So that's why it's kept empty. Then you have the vendor product code. So this vendor products code will be used when printing a request for quotation. Keep empty to use it in the internal one. So they says that if you want to use the internal one, what you have to do is keep that field empty. Then you have the delivery lead time. So you can set how many number of days it is. So lead time is the day between the confirmation of purchase order and the receipt of the product in your warehouse. Okay, used by the scheduler for automatic computation of the purchase order planning. Okay, so if you have any doubts in different fields, Odoo is providing field helps. So using this field help, you will get an idea of what each field means. Okay, and then you have the price list, where you have the product. So for which product you are applying this price list for, okay, or to. Then you have the product variant. So if you want to apply this on a particular product's variant, that can also be chosen from here. So if this large cabinet has any variants, that variant can be chosen from here. And then you have the quantity. So what happens if you choose the product variant is that only that variant, for that variant, this price list can be applied. And then you have the quantity, the unit price. So for one quantity, this is the price which you're setting for this price list, and only for this particular vendor. And then you have the validity as well as the discount which you're applying. Okay, so it can be anything. If you give 10 means that will be 10% discount, and then you have the company. So that's it, and you will save it, and then you can use it under the RFQs. So that's the vendor price list. And then under products, you have product attributes as well as product categories. So attributes are the ones which we use while you create any, when a product has a variant, means these attributes are used. So you have attributes like colors, lengths, size, different things, right? So I'm going to create a new one for you all. So here you can see one called color. So you have different display types, okay, which is radio, pills, select, color, and multi checkbox. So whatever you want, you can choose it from here. Then you have the variant creation mode. So instantly means all possible variants are created as soon as the attributes and its values are added to a product. Okay, that's what happens when you choose instantly. So if you're choosing dynamically, means each variant is created only when its corresponding attributes and values are added to a sale order. So only once you create and use it inside a sale order, this variants will be created, and never means variants are never created for the attribute. Okay, so the variant creation mode cannot be changed once the attribute is used at least in one product. Okay, so that's it. And then you have the e-commerce filter visibility. So whether it should be visible or hidden, you can choose it from here. And here you have the attribute value. So color is given here. So the value I'm giving it as black and white. See. So currently I've chosen the display type as radio. What happens is that black and white, like a radio will come, and if you're giving pills means pills will come. So in our channel you can find videos which are concentrating more on this. So whatever your display type wish is, you can choose it from here. Okay, and here you have, so if you want to specify a custom value, you can just tick it. Okay, and then you can set the value. So right now I'm just giving the name of the attributes. Okay, that's the attribute value. So that's how you configure an attribute. So we have so much pre-created ones, so you can use from it as well. Okay, and then under the configuration you have the product categories. So product categories are like the categories to which a product belongs to. It can be all consumable, all deliveries, all expense, all internal, rental, saleable and all. So if you want to add a product category, you can simply click on new over here and add it. So I'm adding as lamps itself, and then you can choose a parent category. If you want, you can choose one, otherwise you can simply leave it empty. So if you want to create one inside this all consumable, then this will be a new thing which is added inside it. Then here the account properties as well as the logistics, which is forced removal strategy, whatever the strategy is, which is like first in, first out. You have so much removal strategies like FIFO, LIFO and all. Okay, so all those things can be chosen from here. And then you have the inventory valuation. So you have three types of inventory valuation method, which is standard price, first in, first out, and also the average cost. Okay, so let it be standard price itself. I'll simply create and show it. And how many products are under this category can be found through this smart tab. Going back to the product categories, and here you can see under all consumable, you have one more category which is lamps. Okay, now you have the unit of measure category. So here is where you can configure the unit of measure. You can see different units as unit, weight, working time and all. Now you can see some UOMs are given in blue color. So that is actually the reference unit. The other ones will be compared with this reference unit, whether it's bigger than the reference unit or smaller than the reference unit. Okay, so that's it. That's how you configure one. So if you want to create a new one, means you can create. So I'll simply give a unit of measure as new, and the unit of measure values can be given as, this is just a random unit of measure. Okay, so A, and if you set A as a reference unit of measure, B, I'm creating one, B. So B can be smaller than that, and C, if it's bigger than the reference unit, means you can specify that. And how much bigger it is, that is the ratio value. So you can set the ratio value over here. Okay, so that's how you configure the unit of measure. And finally, we have the settings of purchase module. So inside the settings, we have so much things. Okay, so here under the orders, you have this purchase order approval. Okay, so only once, that is if you set a minimum amount, only once the manager approves the date, or approves the order, it can be further proceeded. So I'm just checking it, and you're setting the minimum amount as 5,000. So I'll set it as 100 and let's save it. So this purchase order should be approved. Okay, so let's try doing it. what you have to do is go to orders. There you will have purchase order. And I'm creating a purchase order with amount which is more than 100. I've set it a limit, right? So I'm choosing some random vendor, adding a product. So let the unit price be 500. Saving it. Confirming it. Receiving the product. Validate it. So the thing is that you have to go to settings. So under this configuration settings, we have so much things. So here under the orders, you can see this purchase order approval. Now, if you just check it, what happens is that a request to the manager will be gone to approve the orders, because you can set, if I'm just checking it, I'll show you. They'll be asking for a minimum amount where you can set a minimum amount. And once your purchase order or your RFQ is above this amount, means the that is the manager should confirm it or approve it, only then you can proceed. Okay, that's the purchase order approval. I'll do a, I think there's a video on this. And then you have the warnings. So this is to set warnings in orders, products, or even vendor. Okay, so that is while you are setting a warning for a vendor or even a product, what happens is that once you use that person or that product in an purchase order or an RFQ, a warning will come. Okay, so if you just enable it and save it, you can, set warnings for it. Let's go to products, and I'll do one thing. I'll put a warning for a product. Okay, so let the product be bacon burger, and here under the purchase, you can see warning. Okay, so warning when purchasing this product, I'm putting warning. And this is a warning. That's what I'm setting as a warning message, and I'll save it. So our product is bacon burger. I'm starring it, going to RFQs and create an RFQ using this product. So let's see what happens. So click on new. Here you have vendor, choose the vendor, add the product. So here you have bacon burger. See, a warning message has come, which is warning for bacon burger, which shows this is a warning. Okay, you can even use blocking message, which makes this product to be blocked. That is, you can't use that product in a RFQ. So that's the warning. And if you go to settings, we have so much more. You have the log confirmed orders. So once you confirm an order, it will be logged. So right now itself, once you enable it, you will find this log button over there in an RFQ. Okay, once it's confirmed, you can lock it. That is, the admin can lock it and even unlock it. So no further edits can be done on the existing one. Okay, that is basically to prevent editing. And here you have the purchase agreement, which is the call for tender as well as the blanket order, which we already talked about. And here you have the invoicing, where you have the bill control, which is ordered quantity and received quantity. So this is to generate bills for the quantities which are received and ordered. So whatever it is, you can choose it from here. And here you have the three-way matching, which is to make sure you only pay bills for which you received the goods you ordered. So only, as it said, only you need to pay bills for the products which have been ordered by you and received to you. Okay. Then you have the products where you have the variants. You know what variants are right now. Then you have the variant grid entry. You know that one as well. So there are two types of variant grid entry. What I said once I was creating a product. Okay. Then you have the product packaging. That is, if you want to set a product, or products are created. If suppose it's a mug. Okay, you're going to pack it. Okay, so that is purchase products by multiple of unit per package. So inside a particular package, you're putting 5 units of the same product. Okay, so that becomes a package, right? So that's what product packaging is. Then you have the unit of measure, where you can configure the unit of measure. So you know how to configure the unit of measure, and it's a very important thing because units are used everywhere, right? And here you have the logistics, where you have the drop shipping, which is to request your vendors to deliver to your customer. So drop shipping is simple. It's a very simple logic. That is, if you have a vendor and a customer, so you need to take products from the vendors and deliver it to the customer. So suppose the vendor location and the customer location is same, then you're asking your vendor to deliver the product to your customer. Okay, so it can be it can reduce the time which is taken. Okay, if they are in same location and you are the one in a different location, means it's simpler for the vendor to deliver the product to your customer. So that's a drop shipping. So detailed video on each and everything will be put it in your channel. So yeah guys, that's all about the purchase module. I hope it's clear for you guys. So that's all about the purchase module. I hope it's very clear to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another overview video.